let's bring over
Brian,
Lee Carter, because she knows something about Super Bowl ads. You are a partner at Maslansky Lunson Partners?
I sure am, yeah.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Remember back in the day when we would only see the Super Bowl commercials during the Super Bowl, but now, because they're smart, these guys, Madison Avenue, they're thinking, all right, I can generate some buzz before the Super Bowl if I release it, and then people will start breaking it into categories, talking about whether or not this works and whatnot.
Absolutely. I think we're seeing more like the Social Bowl right now. You've got so many different ads coming out right now with the barking dogs. There's teasers even for ads. It's advertising for advertising. And so we're seeing that, and it's fun to see. It's a lot of build-up, and we're getting people involved way, way early now.
It's come a long way from Mad Men days.
It sure has.
One of my favorite shows on TV. All right, so you broke them down into categories, or trends, I should say. The user-generated ads, the nostalgic ones, the animal ones, and then I guess there's a fourth category of Super Bowl ads just in general. Do we have clips of some of those?
This is the user-generated one.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
User-generated means they're getting the audience involved early, and they're asking them to come up with ideas on how to advertise the products. And so what we're really seeing is these companies are actually listening to their customers and saying, how would you do it? And so it's really a great way of engaging people early on in the process and have people feel like they're part of it all the way through. So you're seeing social media campaigns on Facebook, and you're getting people involved early and often. And the votes are actually telling us who's the most popular ad before we even get to the Super Bowl.
That's so interesting.
These dogs are amazing. Take a look right here. Okay, so we just saw, I think, okay, this is now, we've moved on to Pepsi as well.
This is nostalgic?
This is the takeoff of that ad from a couple of years ago, isn't it?
There was a long time ago that we had the ad with the Pepsi driver versus the Coke driver, and all of I think it was the Coke driver that took the Pepsi can out, and all of it went all over the place. We have that back again, and so it's really a time where people are going back to the things that made us good in the past. I think even we're going to see Anheuser-Busch is coming back with the Clydesdales. We're also going to see them, they're doing some celebration ads that are really some celebrations of great moments in history, as we're going to, and they're going to bring us through some great times so that we're going to remember what's better about the times before.
We're seeing the horses right here. Okay, let me ask you this question. You know how in a football game, speaking of football, sometimes they make their best plays when they're under the wire and they only have 20 seconds left. And then if you're a fan, you say, well, why can't they do that all the time? I'm going to use that same analogy with advertisements. Why do we see the best ads during the Super Bowl? Why can't ad companies have these fantastic ads all the time?
You know, that's a really great point. I think a lot of people ask that same question. And what we see is that there's two goals in Super Bowl ads. One is to entertain and get all of this buzz. And secondarily is to sell the product. I think what ends up happening most of the time is people really want to focus on selling the product and not as much on just entertainment. They're really expensive to produce. They don't always tie in perfectly with a brand, but they do start, getting people talking about the brand in a different way.
And this all got kicked off by Apple back in the early 80s when they came out with that 1984 thing that introduced the Mac, and it became an event because I think it was a 90-second or 2-minute spot, and people just were like, what is that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great way to introduce product and get people's attention. But for the most part, some people look forward to now as much the advertisements as they do the game, unless you're a big fan of one of the teams that's playing.
Yeah,
yep, exactly.
What's your favorite ad this year?
I'm a big fan of animals, so I really do enjoy the Volkswagen ad. It's it's a lot of fun. It plays both into dogs and it plays into something that we all love, which is Star Wars.
So are there any secret ads that we don't know about yet?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Anheuser-Busch has a big reveal that's coming out, and I think everybody loves to see those ads coming out, and you just don't know what it's going to be, and hopefully it's going to make us laugh and captivate us. And there's a lot of people who haven't yet released them, but I think we're seeing more and more releasing in advance, and so that they can really take advantage of getting people engaged early on.
If dogs only really acted like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to be watching Let the Games Begin. Oh, look, the polar bears are back.
They're back.
For Coke?
That's for Coke, absolutely.
All right. Lee Carter from Maslansky and Lunson and Partners, we thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And your prediction on who's going to win the game?
Well, I hope it's the Giants.
New York girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.